What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are diving back into Cosmic Era 73 as we see the events of Gundam Seed Destiny play out. Last time, Jess was invited to Armory Plant 1 to report on the new Zaft Millennium Project and the new Impulse Gundam. In this episode, we will see the events of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny play out as Phantom Pain infiltrates the plant and steals the new mobile suits. So let's get into this. Kate and Jess are at a fancy party to announce to the world Zaft's new mobile suits. Soon, the Minerva will be announced to the world, and they can move on to a new case. Mar is now officially piloting along with Shin. Jess begins taking photos. Suddenly, a lady approaches the group. Jess doesn't recognize her, but Kate instantly notices that it is Yoon, all dressed up. Back at the castle, Matisse is confused where these new mobile suits came from. She is confused because she is a megalomaniac who believes that she created the world. Run. At the Armory 1 base, Mar is complaining that only the Impulse Gundam will be a part of the Minerva crew on its initial launch. He still wants to pilot the Gundam. At that moment, the Phantom Pain team comes in and begins stealing the mobile suits. Stella shoots Mar, who is now complaining about being shot. Jess and Kate get an evacuation notice. The two decide to get footage in their mobile suits. Jess is somewhat concerned for Satona, but she will magically return, like she always does. Bernadette stops them and convinces the two to not engage on the battlefield. She tells them to take a secret route out of the plant and meet up with the Junk Guild. They meet up with Yoon and her ship. She happens to have Mirage Collé detection and notices a mobile suit approaching them. It is the Dagger Inn. Kate goes in to attack the Dagger Inn. Yoon notices another unit approaching their location. It is Courtney Hieronymus in the Proto Chaos. He tells Jess to let him handle this. The XMF P192P Proto Chaos is a prototype mobile armor that is the predecessor to the Chaos Gundam's mobile armor mode. This was Zaft's attempt to rethink mobile armors on the battlefield, something they thought they have moved past by now. But after seeing the Aegis Gundam perform so well, they made this mobile suit. Like the Chaos Gundam, it uses the mobile weapon pod, which utilizes an improved Dragoon system to control the 4 wireless pods. The Chaos Gundam only had 2 pods to make room for arms in its mobile suit mode. It is also equipped with a beam claw for close combat. As the Proto Chaos comes in, the Dagger Inn disappears and retreats. Nothing is being picked up on the sensors, but Jess feels something is still nearby. He grabs his camera and opens his cockpit to see a Gundam watching over him. He takes a picture of the Gundam before it takes off. Yoon, Jess, and Kate make their way towards Genesis Alpha. This is a variant of the Genesis weapon that the Junk Guild used as a propulsion system to help Lo head to Mars. Jess meets up with Liam. He is now a chairman of the Junk Guild. He tells the two that they were able to get out of a situation because they were representing the Junk Guild at the plants. Any other situation and they would have been left for dead at Armory Plant 1. Jess wonders if Mattias planned this from the beginning. They head to the administration center to find the professor. Jess asks her about the current situation. They wonder if it will lead to another war. The professor says that there is something more curious happening. He shows the team Junius 7 and notes that it started moving. Of course, we know this as the fuel that will ignite the next war. Liam and the Junk Guild was involved in making sure Junius 7 remains in stable orbit, so someone must have messed with the rubble. They look on the monitor to see a Nazca-class ship approaching them. It seems that they are defectors of Zaft who split from the military to pursue their own motives. Jess mentions he interviewed them before, but he never knew that they had the resources to back up their words. Jess and Kate goes out to protect Genesis Alpha. If it gets into the wrong hands, it can be used as a weapon of mass destruction. Meanwhile, Matisse heads out in her Gen High Maneuver Type. I believe I glossed over this unit during our Destiny coverage. The ZG-MF 1017N2 Gen High Maneuver Type 2's weapons have been all replaced. It now uses the MM1 M636K beam carbine rifle, which is a high-powered rapid-fire weapon. It also has the MA M92 sword, which is said to have originated from the graveyard and is similar to the Gerbera Strait. I mean, it's just a giant piece of very sharp metal. At the ship, Yoon notes that more units are approaching. Jess and Kate are taking on the defectors, who definitely want to use the Genesis weapon to use on Earth. Suddenly, a bunch of units approach the battlefield. It is Sword Calamity, followed by Raider Full Spec, as well as M1A Astray. We'll talk more about the M1 Astray soon. Jess wonders if it is Ed and his team. Suddenly, another mobile suit appears. It is Rondo Mina Sahaku and the upgraded Astray Gold Frame Amatsu Mina. The MBF P01 I'm just going to put it up on the screen. You read it. You read it yourself. It's a mouthful. This gold frame is the repaired and upgraded version of Rondo's twin brother who piloted the Gundam in Gundam Seed Astray. Go see our coverage of Astray to see the fate of Rondo Gina Sahaku. Spoilers, he dead. For the most part, this is the same unit that her twin brother used, with the exception of 2 new weapons, the Totsuka no Tsugiri Sabers and the Tsumaha no Tachi Claw. It will also eventually get upgraded leg armor. These items will be added by Yoon later in the future. She wishes to speak with the Junk Guild representative. Mina speaks with Liam and tells him that the Junk Guild will be annihilated, but doesn't elaborate. The Junk Guild is currently monitoring chunks of Junior 7 making its way towards Earth. They go out and try to stop it. They plan on using the Genesis weapon to destroy the debris. Kate will be the first one to fire the weapon based on the data they have on the debris. Once again, Jess doesn't feel like things are right. He looks out with his own eyes once again and notices the mysterious Gundam. Jess hears his own voice on the radio, pushing Kate to shoot, but it isn't him. Someone is impersonating him. He connects his camera to 8 so 8 could actually see what's going on. He has to make it to Genesis Alpha before it goes off. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. The data is most certainly wrong and will most likely hit Earth. Jess is stopped by the mysterious Gundam. There is nothing he can do now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Kate doesn't fire. Jess always refers to Kate as Kate, but whoever is talking to him is referring to him as Madigan, his last name. He recognizes that this is an imposter talking to him and doesn't shoot. Liam does a diagnostics on the ship and recognizes that their systems have been compromised with a computer virus. Kate heads out to the hangar and tries to get into the gold frame, but Rondo stops him. He begs her to let him use the unit. She looks at Kate and says, "You are a good man." This mirrors something similar that Lo said to Rondo in Gundam Seed X Astray. Lo never saw her as a person lusting for power. All Lo saw was a leader who took great care of her people. It seemed that in the 2 years since that conversation between Lo and Rondo, she has learned quite a lot, but still wants to annihilate the Junk Guild? Kate, being Kate, does a little bit of flirting with Rondo before taking off. The Socius clones wonder if they should sortie as well, but Rondo says that it would hurt Kate's pride and to let him handle it on his own. Jess disconnects his camera from 8. Remember, if it isn't connected, 8's sensors does not pick up on the mysterious Gundam. As it goes to attack, the outframe is infected with the virus. The unit comes in with its claw arms and tears through the outframe. The Junk Guild recognizes that they are using Mirage Colloid tech to transmit the virus, similar to the one that was used to infect the red and blue frame in Astray. Kate comes in using the gold frame and attacks the unit. As he attacks, the armor color shifts from red to white. Kate wonders if it is phase shift armor. Jess notes that it is actually variable shift armor, and he saw it at Zaft, so this unit is clearly up to date in regards to its tech. The mobile suit gets behind the gold frame and gets the upper hand. Jess comes rushing in, but the mobile suit uses its claw arm and tears through the outframe. Jess drifts out into space. As the fight continues, a positron cannon blast comes barreling through. Everyone looks out to see the rehome. It is Lo and Kisato returning from Mars. The mysterious unit retreats. Kate grabs the outframe and Jess's body. He is alive, but weak. He sees Lo's face and asks him of a favor, but then instantly passes out. Back at Mattias's mansion, he is informed of Matisse's doing. It seems that the clan plans on having her assassinated, and Mattias wants to be the one to make it happen. More on the clan very soon. At the Earth Alliance Forces Special Intelligence Bureau Station, we see the mysterious unit return. This mysterious unit is called Testament Gundam. The ZG-MF X-12A Testament Gundam was an experimental Zaft unit created to initially test out striker packs. The Testament's name refers to a covenant between God and humans, the idea being that coordinators are gods and naturals are humans. Patrick Zala loyalists are so gross, but I suppose that is the point. The coordinators don't actually understand what a coordinator truly is. In Astray, AI George Glynn says that a coordinator is a bridge to the next step in human evolution. Somewhere along the timeline, it was misinterpreted as coordinators actually being the next step in human evolution, rather than a bridge. Testament Gundam has variable shift armor and an in-jammer canceller, but its main weapon is the quantum computer virus transmission system. It infects quantum computers within a certain range of the unit, and it somehow doesn't affect the in-jammer canceller. It is mainly used to hide the Gundam's location and appearance. It also uses the Divine Striker Pack, which is similar to the L Striker Pack, but works with Testament Gundam's variable shift armor. The masked pilot returns. He gets out and starts assaulting his superior officer. A team comes in and sedates the pilot. They place him in the cradle, similar to what we saw Stella use. Matisse is behind this pilot. She is referring to him as Scout 0984. She is set on getting her hands on the Genesis weapon. Back at the Junk Guild, it seems that Junius 7 is on its way to Earth, and it doesn't look like it could be stopped. Lowe says that he ran into a pod on their way back and picked it up. It just so happens to be Satona. Lowe says that someone actually told him to come back from Mars. He heads to the hangar to fix the outframe and says that you will understand soon enough. Meanwhile, on the Ortygia Kai, Kennard Parnes is sleeping. He gets a vision from Prayer Reverie. He decides to change course and heads towards Genesis Alpha. Lowe is fixing up the outframe. It was modified by Lowe, but in its original state, it is very similar to that mysterious mobile suit that they stumbled across in battle. Lowe plans on fixing it to this original state. Kate says that he will pilot the mobile suit as he has actual combat pilot experience, but Jess wants to pilot and see the enemy with his own eyes. Lowe says, good news, 2 people could fit into this unit. And by fit, I mean Jess will be crammed up into the head of the mobile suit. Seems like the equivalent of just getting into the trunk. This newly upgraded outframe is now referred to as the Outframe D. The ZGMF X12D Gundam Astray Outframe D is taking the Outframe's design back to its original concept, which resembles the Testament Gundam. Unlike the Testament Gundam, this is battery powered instead of nuclear powered. It still has Striker Pack hardpoints, but this unit has a second seat in the head, which Jess will use to see the Testament Gundam with his own eyes. This version is equipped with a beam sign, a beam rifle, a Schneider combat knife, a custom shield, and the gun camera, which is now upgraded with the It's a welding tool used by the Junk Guild. There will actually be 3 people piloting this mobile suit. Jess will be the eyes, Kate will be the pilot of the mobile suit, and 8 will focus on warding off the virus. Its ability to infect a virus and skew the truth is the Testament Gundam's greatest weapon, according to Jess. Lowe says that its armor is made of cheaper material, but because of this, it means it's also very light. Lowe heads out to the Junius 7 debris. He is going to try to do something about the situation, even if he can't stop it. Back with Serpent's Tail, Kazuhana also gets a vision of Prayer. He tells her they will need to help out the journalist. She understands the mission and notes that Prayer hasn't changed one bit. The Outframe D launches. It seems that the Junk Guild is already getting bombarded by enemies. Suddenly, Serpent's Tail and Kennard comes in to help the Junk Guild. Kennard goes and handles the grunts. As some go in to attack Genesis Alpha, Guy and Elijah come in rocking meteor units. QTM Revolution. Kate sees 5 Testament Gundams approaching him. The virus has already been activated. Jess is able to spot the real one and points it out to Kate. Kate and Testament Gundam engage in battle. Kate is emulating Ed the Ripper's fighting style by getting underneath the armor. They get in close and ask why he is doing this. He takes off his mask to reveal that he is Ash Gray and he wants to take revenge on the woman that used him. Ash goes mad. He says the name Matisse before opening the cockpit without his helmet on, being sucked out into space. The virus has been activated, however, and the Genesis weapon goes off. Somewhere near Junius 7, Matisse is monitoring the Genesis weapon. She is trying to find any excuse to get people to start another war, and the Junk Guild firing a weapon that goes against the Junius Treaty is the evidence she needs. She looks out at 2 cards from her Irregular 13. As a person who thinks that they control the universe, she has what she calls 13 Irregulars. These are people that she thinks she doesn't have control over. The 2 cards that she pulls is Ed and Lowe. And that will do it for this episode. We are starting to see some final forms as we head into the final volume. Jess's concept of what the truth is so idealized that it is cute that he believes that he is actually doing anything good for journalism. Lowe even mentions that Jess is fighting for what he believes in. Literally the opposite of objective journalism. But I suppose he is a good vessel for moving the plot along. Next time in our final adventures in Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny Astray, we will see the Break the World incident play out as Junius 7 heads directly towards Earth. We will also be introduced to the Proto-Savior, and Kate will fix up the Testament Gundam and become its new pilot. But that will do it for now, coordinators. Remember, space is a vacuum. Peace.